trade war, climate change, a lot of countries facing aging society, technology disruption. Could you please tell us about these factors? How do they have an impact on investment?
I think these factors have an impact on the world because most of the world right now, the US and China, two of the biggest economies in the world, have slowed down. Their growth has slowed down. And so everyone is feeling the impact of these factors. Of course, with our president, who I don't agree with, he is not making it any better. So hopefully, after this election, things will start to change. We'll get back into the climate accord and work with other countries better than he has now. But overall, I think the whole world is going through a similar thing. But I believe that we have a chance, especially with climate change, to make a difference. Mm-hmm.
So last year was very difficult for investors, but your fund, the Buffettology, gave a positive return. So could you please tell us more about your strategy?
Well, last year was difficult for investors because there was a lot of volatility in the market. It was up, it was down, the GDP wasn't growing, but we in the UK have a fund, Buffettology Fund, and it's run by a gentleman named Keith Ashford Lord. And Keith Ashford Lord really takes the principles from our book Buffettology and has followed them completely in looking for only businesses in Europe, which was a very difficult market, even more difficult than the US. And because he's followed the Buffettology rules of looking for great companies with a brand, companies that have good earnings over a long period of time, and companies that have great management, he invested in those companies, and we've done extremely well, mostly because of Keith Ashford Lord.
And for the past 7 years, Buffettology has appreciated more than 200%. So maybe could you please tell us more about like this wonderful achievement and what is like a strategy or mindset behind this investment?
Well, any company that has that kind of achievement in terms of 200% or whatever, it is because you're compounding the interest that you're making on the investments. So for every investment Keith has made over the last 10 years, the compounding interest is something that really pays off over time. So the longer the time, the better it gets. Yeah.
Okay. And numerous investors aspire to follow Warren Buffett's investment style. So is it possible for you to maybe please share with us his mindset and also the investment style?
Well, I guess the simplest thing is to buy a great company at a reasonable price. But finding a great company is the first thing that Warren does. He reads an enormous amount about all companies, and then you have to have the basic principles that I discussed before of great management. You have to look at the company. How has it been doing for the last 10 years? So most of the companies that Warren Buffett or we invest in are actually very old companies. There's no IPOs. There's, generally speaking, we can look at least 10 to 20 years of a company's earnings. And that tells us if they've been earning consistently and it goes up every year, then you can project that in the future they're going to continue to earn, even in bad times. Even in 2008, when we had a little dip, a recession, so to speak, good companies will always be good companies, just like no one will stop drinking Coca-Cola if the stock market is closed. So to buy great companies and hold them for a long period of time is a key. But the most important thing is to buy them at the right price. And that takes a great deal of patience, waiting for the price of the company to come down. And that either happens if there's a correction or in a recession, or sometimes the company might make a one-time mistake. And that's when you get a chance to buy it, an opportunity to buy it. Yeah.
Thank you for the answer. And what is your professional opinion on investing in Thai stocks this year?
Well, I love Thailand, and I think Thai has a number of great stocks. A couple of years ago, so there are many great companies in Thailand, really in every country. They have good companies. They just have to fit those principles that we talked about. So even if you go into a store and you're wondering, what must this store carry in order to be in business? It will give you an idea. They must carry a Thai beer, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, and right away you can see that those are the kinds of companies to look at. Even at home, you know, what you buy for laundry detergent, you know, look at the company that owns that detergent and investigate it, read about it.
Okay. Lastly, I believe that you have recently opened an online school for investors.
Yeah.
Could you please talk about that as well? Because it's a very exciting news for investors who would like to learn more about investing.
It is. It's called the Buffett Online School, and here in Thailand, Kelly is the president. And the reason we opened the school is because I can't be in every city all over the world, but our online school every month, Sean, Shia, and I discuss businesses. The first month we discussed banking as an investment, and last month we discussed insurance. And we have students from all over the world, from London, from Australia, from Thailand, from Taiwan, and everybody, it can be online. And once you're a student, you can also go back and listen to what we've talked about, so if you want to remember it. So it's a way of us showing investors, because sometimes people can't go to a class because they're working or they have children, and anyone can go online anytime. And that was why we thought it was really important, because now is the time for people to invest their money so that their money works for them, so that when they're older, in 10, 20 years, 30 years, that's how long we think the money will be there for them.
Okay. And could you please tell us more, like what kind of thing you'll be teaching, and what's the differences between like learning from this online school and then like different from other investment schools?
Really, the greatest thing about the online school is not only do Sean and I teach specifics every month, but at the same time that we're on, other investors, like I said, our students, can be writing questions and we see them in time. And we're starting a community of investors that they can even talk to one another. One person wrote, "I think of investing in this company," and so on. And another one of our students from London said, "Hey, I invested in that company and here's what happened," and so on. So we're really starting a community of investors that are beginning investors and also very, investors that have done it for a long time. And of course, all of our trainers and myself and Sean look at it every day. So your questions will be answered and we'll give you advice. One more thing about Buffett Online School. Anyone can go on Facebook or on the internet and search Buffett Online School. And please join, because it's not that expensive, and we ask people to stay for 2 years, because that's about as long. After that, you will learn so much. And the idea behind the school, again, is it's many investors, new investors, older investors, and you get the advice from them on anything that you want to ask. So please join the school. I think you'll really learn a lot.